he was like, well, do you remember to brush your teeth every day? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, then you can do Invisalign. And me being 23 years old and a little bit naive, I was just like, okay, let's do it. So in this video, we are going to be talking about braces versus Invisalign, my experience with both, and how I feel about each of them. If you are interested in hearing my experience, just keep on watching. I am using my front camera on my phone to record, so if you see me look here, I'm looking at myself, and if you see me look here, I'm looking at my notes. So yeah, let's get into my experience with Invisalign. I'm gonna just tell you right now, flat out, I hated it. Now, when I initially went into my appointment in December of 2018, I went in to inquire about braces. At that point, I was 23 years old. I had wanted my teeth straightened since I was 10, so that was 13 years of me wanting my teeth to be straight. Like, I was really gung-ho on getting braces. Like, that's truly what I wanted. But there was like a tooth at the bottom that was like protruding outward, and the orthodontist, he wouldn't do braces on me. He really wanted me to do Invisalign because he said he treated a similar case with Invisalign. He even went so far as to tell me that if I truly wanted to stick with braces, that he couldn't treat me. So yeah, he did his whole, oh, you should go with Invisalign spiel. I told him that I felt like I wasn't, disciplined enough to wear the trays like I was supposed to. And he was like, well, do you remember to brush your teeth every day? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, then you can do Invisalign. And me being 23 years old and a little bit naive, I was just like, okay. I was just so pressed to get my teeth straightened that I went with it, even though I was really apprehensive about it in the beginning. At this orthodontist, they charge you the same price for braces or Invisalign, which it's the same, so it really didn't influence my decision to get one or the other. While we're on the subject of price, the price for Invisalign was $5,800. I made a $1,000 down payment and paid $320 over the course of 15 months. My treatment was supposed to be 18 months. Initially, I was really excited. Like, finally, after all of these years, I'm about to get my teeth straightened. Like, I was ready. He made it seem so simple that I thought to myself, you know what? Yeah, you can do this. I'm gonna be completely honest. From the very beginning, I was a terrible Invisalign patient. I never wore my trays like I was supposed to. I would eat, and then it would be like 2 hours, and I'm like, crap, I need to brush my teeth and put my trays back in. And if I'm supposed to be wearing it for 22 hours a day, and then one meal, it was out for 2 hours, it's like definitely not hitting that 22 hours. I would fall asleep inadvertently without my tray in, and then okay, that's like a good 6 to 8 hours that my teeth are not being straightened. Every single time I went to an appointment, I was trays behind where I was supposed to be. So I went in for an appointment at the end of 2019. Yeah, because I officially started my treatment in January of 2019. So then maybe like November-ish, December-ish of 2019, I went in for an appointment, and he was like, we need to pull that tooth in the front. Initially, I didn't want to get that tooth pulled because then I would only have 3 teeth at the bottom in between my canines instead of 4. So that's another reason that I think I decided to go with Invisalign with him, because he was the only orthodontist that seemed interested in saving that tooth. And now that I've gotten the tooth pulled, I don't even remember what life was like before I got it pulled. At that appointment, they took new scans of my teeth and digitally extracted the tooth in the front. and they told me to continue wearing my lash tray even after I got the tooth pulled. And since it was protruding out so far, like, it didn't even matter. After I got the tooth pulled, my lash tray still fit. So I was kind of glad about that. It didn't like disturb the healing process or anything like that. It actually went very smoothly. That tooth came out so easily, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I should have did this years ago, but here we are. So in January of 2020, I got my new trays. At this orthodontist, they give you all of your trays at one time. So I didn't have to worry about like going in for appointments to get more trays. I was still a terrible patient. Got all new trays, was happy all over again, and still wasn't doing what I was supposed to do because I didn't really want to do it. When coronavirus hit, and I wasn't able to get another appointment until October of 2020. When I went in for that appointment, there were actually 2 orthodontists there at that point. Initially, I was with the man, but this time it was a woman. So she looked at my teeth and she was like, yeah, okay, I'm comfortable putting braces on your teeth. And I was like, yes, we can finally move on. And she told me that it was going to be a $1,495 readjustment fee, which I don't know. It was just like whatever at that point. At that appointment, when I told them I changed my mind, that's when they put the spacers in between my teeth and the back. Which brings me to my braces experience. That was October 2020 that I got my spacers. My next appointment was initially supposed to be December 4th of 2020, but they ended up having an opening the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And before that happened, one of the spaces in my mouth popped. So that's how I ended up going in for that November appointment, because they told me I needed to come in as soon as possible to get a new spacer. I went into this appointment for a new spacer and they told me, hey, we're about to put your top braces on, which, as you can see, I had top braces and not bottom ones. After they put the top braces on, they attempted to put the bottom braces on, but I guess those spacers really didn't do anything for me, because those little metal things, I don't know what they're called. Anybody with braces knows what I'm talking about. If you know what the name of those things are, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, because I really would like to know. But anyway, those things did not fit on my teeth, so they decided that they were going to put my bottom braces on at a later date. Now I kind of want to get into my thoughts on both. So Invisalign, I don't like Invisalign. Here's why. 1, I want to eat whenever I want to, okay? For however long I want to. I don't want to be restricted to eating in like 30-minute increments. I'm way too skinny to be eating only 2 hours a day. My nutritionist told me that I need to eat at least every 3 hours. Considering the fact that we're typically awake for 16 hours, that's at least 5 hours a day. If I eat leisurely and it takes me an hour or so to eat, that's 5 hours of eating. 3 hours over the allotted time. And that's not including the time that it takes me to, brush, floss, do all the things, and put my tray back in my mouth. I personally didn't feel right about brushing my teeth in public, because I would have a little pouch with all of my teeth brushy stuff in there or whatever. And I'm like, I am not about to set my good pouch that I got off of Amazon on a public bathroom sink. And that was before the coronavirus. Definitely not doing that. The times where I would fall asleep and I didn't brush my teeth and put my Invisalign back in my mouth. So that's another 6 to 8 hours that I'm not getting my teeth straight in, which, no. Yeah, I know I was counting the reasons, but now we just going into them. I don't have the energy for that tedious of a routine. Yes, I completely understand that you still have to brush your teeth with braces, but it's just something about taking something in and out my mouth that just does not work for me. it's not all that invisible. To be quite honest, I think if you're talking to somebody, it's noticeable that they have Invisalign on their teeth. I didn't really care about the invisibility versus invisibility, but for the simple fact that it was Invisalign, really not all that invisible. And while we're on the subject of invisibility, you had to be really careful of the things that you ate and the things that you drank and how well you actually brushed your teeth, because you didn't want to stain your trays. Now, me personally, I didn't have that issue. I would just brush my trays and put them, they say don't do this, but I will put it in that little, what do you call them, denture solution to kind of help clean them before I gave them a good brush with the electric toothbrush. There were times where I or somebody else would throw them in the trash because I did what they say not to do, and I wrapped it in, this hair is getting caught in my lashes, but I wrapped it in paper towel. If you have Invisalign, just take my advice. Just don't do it. Have your case with you at all times and put it in your case. It will save you so much time and energy. The last reason why I really wasn't, gung-ho about the Invisalign was because I had cavities that needed to be filled. If I got them filled in the middle of my treatment, then I would have had to get my teeth rescanned to get all new trays, and I wasn't about to do that for a third time. Like, that was just like a hard no for me. So that was all really, I know that was a lot, but I really do not like Invisalign. Number one, and this is like the main reason, my teeth are being straightened consistently. It don't matter if I'm eating, drinking, sleeping, it don't matter. My teeth are constantly being straightened. The only thing I have to worry about is keeping my braces clean, which for me is not hard. I never, ever have to worry about taking anything in or out my mouth because the braces are always there. Like, yeah, that's one less thing for me to think about. I can have my teeth being straightened and focus on other things. My brackets were like cutting the inside of my lip initially. I've had them on for like about 2 or 3 weeks now. But it wasn't bad. Like, there was no bleeding or anything like that. They were just a little tender at times, but again, it was nothing unbearable. I should have never allowed myself to be talked into doing Invisalign because I knew from the very beginning that that was not what I wanted to do. I remember when Invisalign was new and everybody was raving about it and the commercials was on the TV and all of that, and I still didn't want Invisalign. My final thoughts on the whole thing is, if you are a disciplined person, your teeth are really not all that crooked, and you really don't like the look of traditional braces, then go with Invisalign. If you're not a disciplined person like me, and you don't mind the look of traditional braces, then I would say go with braces. If you don't care either way, then I think you should just go with whatever your orthodontist tells you. And if you have the money and you get one and you don't like it, try the other. You might like that better. Those are all my thoughts on braces versus Invisalign. As you can see, your girl has braces. I will try to document the rest of my orthodontic journey as best I can. I'm not sure if they will let me record in office, but I would definitely like to get some footage of me getting my bottom braces on and just how my teeth move from beginning to end. I think I had a very interesting case, so some of you might be interested in seeing how my teeth were in the beginning and how I got to this point. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking with your girl. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. I will be very grateful. And that's all I have for you. Yeah, may the rest of your day be the best